It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Wishbone Brewery, and this is a can of their Black Porter. A robust porter styled on 1800s recipes, the year 1800s. It's 6% ABV, 440 milliliter can. Without further ado, let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. Little bit of smoke on the can opening. Beer in the glass. Oh, this looks terrific, doesn't it? Doesn't that look good? We have a 3-finger light tan coloured head. It's a jet black beer in the glass with carbonation, slow moving carbonation rolling up the side of the glass there. Fab, absolutely fabulous. I really like a porter. One of my favourite beer styles are stouts and porters. It's a coldish, about to rain for a week here. We've had a really nice string of weather going on over the last few weeks, hence the slight suntan I've got. But we're about to hit a week of rain, like in the next hour or two, for a whole week. And there's nothing more satisfying than going into this week of rain than opening up a nice robust porter. Let's get the aroma on this then. Really roasty and toasty, biscuity, nutty. Oh, it smells fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Pipe tobacco smoke. Should we dive in? Cheers, everybody. Oh, wow. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows. What a terrific beer that is. The creamy, rich mouthfeel just envelops, it just covers your palate. There's a fantastic kind of bitterness that just keeps going. It's just, it's like chewing on tobacco. Really, really, really bitter. This has got to be one of the most bitter porters I've ever had on the channel. Wow. But it starts off really lovely and rich and creamy. So an 1800s recipe, that must mean that they used a little bit more roasted malt, because the more roasted malt you use, the more of that kind of bitter coffee, sweet caramel, bitter dark chocolate comes through. You've only got to use, so a brewer will only use a small amount, maybe like 4% of the malt build will be roasted malt. You've only got to up that to 5% or 6% of your malt build, and then you start to really get a bitter porter. Some brewers decide to hold back from that. They decide to not give you that kind of massive amount of bitterness, because not everybody likes it. But I really appreciate bitterness in beer. I really do. I like bitterness in beer. And going back to the 1800s then, if this is an 1800s recipe, they must have really liked their bitterness too. Oh, fabulous. You imagine the boys who've been down the coal mine all day in Yorkshire, Wales, wherever, Sheffield Steelworks, you know, that sort of big, heavy industry. You're coming out of your day's work, you're black, you're covered in muck and bullocks. You hit the pub and you have something kind of slightly strong like this, you know, a big 6%er. And all of your day's worries goes away in the blink of an eye, in the sip, in just a mouthful of this wonderful liquid. There's a berry fruit that's coming back on the back end as well. It's like they've hopped it. It's like a traditional, it's like, it tastes like blackberry or blueberry. But that quickly gets enveloped by that bitterness, that pipe tobacco smoke, that raw, bitter dark chocolate. It's almost like you're chewing on coffee beans, the amount of kind of coffee and bitterness that's coming from the roasted malt and the beer. It's tremendous, but you've got to love bitterness in beer. You've really got to love bitterness in beer to appreciate this beer. If you're not a fan of bitterness, then you probably, I'm almost certain, you probably won't like this. But, you know, we all drink different beers. I much prefer to drink a dry, bitter beer like this than an overly sweet, cloyny, mango concentrate 2022 sour that's not even sour. Much prefer to drink something far more traditional like this. It's actually quite refreshing at the same time, that carbonation that pushes the beer on the inside of the mouth. There is a rich creaminess that kind of hits your palate, but first off, you're being refreshed. There's a refreshing kind of feel to the beer. I really like this. 2A Worthbridge Industrial Estate, Chesham, Keighley, Yorkshire. The ingredients are water, barley, wheat, hops, yeast. It's unfiltered and fined, vegan friendly. Originally brewed for the 200th anniversary of the Leeds and Liverpool Canal, based on porter recipes of the 1800s, where brown and black malts feature heavily. And that's the point. The brown malt, the dark malt, does feature in this beer heavily, and I think you've got to enjoy that. Now, I'm going to say this beer was kindly sent to us by Bingley Brew Club. All the beers come from Yorkshire, Bradford area. All the breweries are based in that area. There's 2 different subscription feeds you can sign up for. One's a medium, one's a large. You get X amount of beer in each one. Also a snack. I've had some lamb crisps in my box, which is, you know, terrific. But I'm not going to give you the price, just in case you're watching this beer review in 3 or 4 years' time and the price is different. So just have a look at Bingley Brew Club. If you want to subscribe to fantastic Leeds and Bradford area breweries, then give it a go. It's well worth it. The beers that I've had have been terrific. They've been absolutely spot on. Really, really good stuff. Bingley Brew Club. Check them out. I'm going to rate this. This looks really good. Fantastic levels of carbonation. Great lacing as you roll the beer around in the glass there. Let's get one final aroma. God, it's fabulous. I'm getting like now I'm able to wash the beer around in the glass. I'm picking up more of those hops. The kind of like the dark berry fruit hops. The beer is of the highest order in terms of quality. Again, the bitterness might not be for everybody, but for me, it's tremendous. Tremendous beer. My first beer from Wishbone Brewery. I hope it's not my last, because this for me is a 10 out of 10. It's a Stone the Crows 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.